I slipped out to the rock garden to have a little play session and found an obstacle that I kind of liked, and so I set up the camera so that I could critique my pathetic technique. I'll show you a few passes over this obstacle just to put you in context and see what I'm dealing with, and you can hear some of my random musings as I replay some of my attempts in slow motion. But then you'll want to stick around for what I would consider to be a completely unique and extremely insightful video analysis of an overlay between me and what I will consider an expert trials rider. Well, I found this obstacle I like pretty well. It's a challenge, but not so much that I can't get up it. And it's a little bit undercut so that it requires some finesse. See, that doesn't work. If I miss with the front tire, I don't clear it. It also has quite the off-camber turnaround to point back to the obstacle, and it's mostly loose, so it requires some finesse to even just make the corner. That's the idea. You can hear the bash plate nailing against the rock. So, I mean, I wouldn't say it's terrible, but it's a bit clunky. And the objective is still to get at least a little bit of hop off of the back tire before hitting the rock, instead of climbing the rock. Now over here, the wall's a little bigger, but I also get a bit of a kicker, which means I don't have to be the one to kick the tire into the air, and it's kind of cheating. Maybe it's good just to get the feel over there. And I like that part of the obstacle just as well. See, that didn't even, like, I don't even double blip. I cheat in my mind. As soon as I see that kicker rock, I treat it like a jump and pretty well just go into it with throttle, which is really not what I'm trying to train myself to do here. But I get myself worked up if I try to do it any other way. All right, so the most recent pointer that I got is to keep my weight back on the blip. This, I guess I'll call it the second blip. I feel like I'm probably standing up too soon. Not gonna lie, I'm anxious already to see the video so I can critique myself. Critique version of myself here. Not only do I get to critique my pathetic technique, but I get to show you an overlay with an expert rider. Here's what I mean by that. Ryan is a competitive trials rider. He rides in one of the upper classes of a typical competition, and he runs the trials bike like it was an extension of his person. Ryan was on site when I showed up at the rock garden, and he was kind enough and patient enough to spend a little time with me giving me some pointers. I followed Ryan up the obstacle, attempting to mimic his speed, throttle, clutch, body movement, and anything else I could think of to get up the obstacle with a level of grace that even closely approximated what he was doing. I failed every time and time again. Watch in close succession as Ryan goes over the obstacle, and then I followed him. Here's another angle of the exact same pass. Again, Ryan first, with me following. And now again, but in slow motion. You can see the cat-like grace that Ryan has getting over the thing, and the clumsy, clunky, almost brute force method that you can see I'm using trying to get over the thing. Watch now as we overlay the two of us going up the obstacle together. First, noticing here as I pause on the wheelie, and notice my body position compared to Ryan's. Ryan has hardly moved from his starting kind of squat position, where I've already used my body to pull the front wheel up on the bike, putting my weight back further, positioning my knees more toward the rear axle of the bike. Then as we approach the rock and compress the suspension, you can see again where now, in part perhaps because of what I did in the wheelie, I'm further back on the bike. My legs are a little more straight. I'm no longer in a position to spring upward. And you'll notice now in the final segment here, comparing the two, that Ryan is able to jump upward. And what I do is kind of straighten my legs with what's left. But because I'm already so far on the bike, all I do is shove the rear tire into the face of the obstacle. And I get nowhere. So there you have it. I'm pretty excited to go out and try this again based on this revelatory information. We'll see in reality how much difference it makes. But darn it, I'm having a lot of fun doing it. So I suppose that's what really matters, right? We'll catch you next time.